If you clicked on this video and you haven't watched Season 6 of Game of Thrones yet, I gotta warn you, there's gonna be spoilers.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win, or you die.
At the end of Season 6, we see Cersei go all Mad King on the High Sparrow and blow up the Sept of Baelor and killing, like, I don't know, 5 supporting characters. Thanks to this act of insanity and some spectacular neglect on Cersei's part, Tommen jumps out of a window and gives a whole new meaning to the name King's Landing. Too soon? Was it too soon? This leaves Cersei, Queen of Westeros, and all of us wondering, what next? How long is she going to maintain the control of the Iron Throne? And more importantly, who's going to stick it to her in the end? Phrasing. Most people seem to think that the answer is made pretty clear by the prophecy that Cersei was given as a child. That's when she and her friend ventured deep into the wilderness to the home of Maggie the Frog. She's not a frog, she looks like this. Not a frog. Anyway, she demanded to know her fate, and so Maggie told her, and what she heard would haunt Cersei for the rest of her days. First, she asks if she'll marry the prince, and she's talking about Rhaegar Targaryen. We just did a video about him here. Maggie then replies,
You'll never wed the prince. You'll wed the king.
We all know this bit comes to fruition with Cersei's marriage to King Robert Baratheon.
But I will be queen.
Yes, both in the sense that she marries a king and in that she becomes ruler of the 7 kingdoms through the deaths of Tommen and Marjorie.
You'll be queen for a time, and comes another, younger, more beautiful, to cast you down and take all you hold dear.
Cersei certainly thinks that this part of the prophecy has been subverted thanks to the death of Marjorie Tyrell. Little does she know, Daenerys Targaryen is coming for the Iron Throne. We could speculate on what Cersei might hold dear, but that's a separate discussion. For now, let's get to the bit of the prophecy that concerns this one.
Will the king and I have children?
You will have 3. Gold will be their crowns. Gold. Their shrouds.
In the book, she continues by saying, and when your tears have drowned you, the Valonqar shall wrap his hands about your pale white throat and choke the life from you. That's some pretty intense stuff. And now that all 3 of Cersei's children are dead and Dany's on the way, one last question remains. Who is the Valonqar?
I've decided I don't like riddles.
Now, I know. The answer seems pretty apparent, since the word Valonqar means little brother in High Valyrian. Most consider this a clear indication that either Tyrion or Jaime will be the doer of the deed. Tyrion is, in more ways than one, Cersei's little brother, and the two have definitely had a less than loving relationship in the past. I mean, honestly, it's clear that even Cersei thinks it's going to be Tyrion.
Sir Mandon Moore tried to kill you on your sister's orders.
And we have already seen him strangle someone. And kill a family member? But I think that Tyrion would be a bit of an obvious choice here, and we know that George likes to move far, far away from the obvious. So it has to be Jaime, right? I mean, he is technically the younger twin, and recently his relationship with Cersei has been strained at best. I mean, come on, look at the guy. I know I wouldn't like seeing my love going full-on Nutter Butters.
Long may she reign.
Long may she reign. But you see, this is where we need to pay close attention to the language of the prophecy. The Valonqar shall wrap his hands about your pale throat. Hands. Hands. If we're going to go with a literal interpretation, Jaime doesn't have hands. Only one, singular. And it's kind of hard to strangle someone with one hand, unless you're Darth Vader or something.
I find your lack of faith disturbing.
But the Valonqar is supposed to be her little brother, right? Well, not quite. Let's look again exactly at what Maggie says. And when your tears have drowned you, the Valonqar shall wrap his hands about your pale white throat and choke the life from you. The Valonqar. Not your Valonqar. Maggie never actually says your younger brother will kill you. So what if someone else's younger brother off Cersei? Perhaps a certain hound who is possibly or probably traveling north with the Brotherhood right about now.
You can still help a lot more than you've harmed Clegane. It's not too late for you.
Yeah, I'm talking about Sandor the Hound Clegane, who is the younger brother of Gregor the Zombie Mountain Clegane, now known as Ser Strong. Because, you know, he's strong and stuff. With both of them still kicking, and the folks having banned trial by combat dead, there's still a possibility that we could see the Clegane Bowl happen. I mean, imagine Dany, or perhaps another recently revealed to be royal character, usurping the throne. If they don't just kill her outright, they'd likely want to put Cersei on trial for her crimes. Which, I mean, if she chooses trial by combat, which she will,
I choose violence.
She'll most certainly choose Zombie Mountain as her champion, while Sandor will jump at the chance to kill his brother. And if he wins, well, But Sandor Clegane is far from our only choice. There's one more younger brother who may end up with the means and the motive to put an end to Cersei Lannister. From the one family that she has hurt more than any other, now with the wrath of fire and blood to his name as well, we have Jon Snow, King in the North, back in Winterfell. I'd say Cersei may find him to be a bit more of a threat than she originally thought. And now that we know that Jon is actually the son of Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen, we know he had older half-siblings from Rhaegar's marriage to Elia Martell. A lot of people think that Jon will actually be the one to end up on the Iron Throne, and for the sake of the argument, let's say that happens. Now, I'm not sure I can see Jon physically strangling Cersei with his own two hands, but I can definitely see him ordering her execution and carrying out the sentence himself. You know, as he does. Really, there are tons of scenarios that we can run through. I mean, Theon is a younger brother, so he qualifies. Also, what if it's not even necessarily a literal hands-on-the-throat act? Remember the poison that killed Joffrey? Well, it's called the Strangler for a reason. But I'm curious to see what you guys think. Tell me in the comments who you've got in mind to put an end to the Mad Queen's reign of terror. If you happen to dig this video, check out that Rhaegar Targaryen video that I mentioned earlier. Or also, there's this older video where I talk about the proposal draft of Game of Thrones. It's different. Like Arya, Tyrion, and Jon Snow love triangle kinds of different. Yeah, that was almost a thing. Alright guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next week.